Hello, dear listener, dear viewer. My name is Mompoloki Lerumo Mogobe, the host of this podcast, Mogobe's Nuggets of Wisdom podcast. You know, the past 25 episodes, it has been me alone. I've taken the liberty this time around of inviting a friend of mine. His name is Sithole. He's Botswana's premier motivational speaker. He's been speaking, can you believe it, for the last 20 years. So I thought in this inaugural podcast, which has been shot for the first time in our brand new studio here at Unit 31 in Gaborone, I should invite him along so that he can meet you as my audience and share his insights. Today we're going to talk about the top 10 nuggets of wisdom on why it is significantly important for you to invest in personal development. We're going to touch on it from the point of view of investment in general. So this is how it's going to go. I'll be asking Mr. Sithole to introduce himself briefly, and then I'll be prodding him with ideas or questions. And I've summarized top 10 ideas on this point. And as usual, there's the 11th, which is a bonus. Can we get started, Mr. Sithole?
Sure, we can go ahead. Yeah.
Let's just start with the formalities or the salutations in terms of introducing yourself to the audience, who you are, what you've been doing in the space.
Well, my name is Sithole. I've been for the last 20 years doing motivational speaking. Very proactively pushing the envelope until maybe 3 years ago. Then I went into mini retirement. I'm just beginning to come out of mini retirement now in the motivational speaking space. Yeah, in the last 3 years, I sort of took a back seat.
Yes.
And then started doing other things.
Okay, let's go right to the meat of the issue.
Yeah.
I'm going to raise a concept and invite you to comment on it. You know, the quality of you as a person normally grows in direct proportion with the quality of your service and the difficulty of replacing you. Not only the quality of your service, but how difficult is it to replace you. I've heard this said many, many times. No one can pay you more money than the service that you give. Can you speak to this point and based on your experience in the last 20 years or so?
Yeah, well, I think, back when I started, I was obviously at the lower level in terms of personal evolution and the content that I had. But what I realized is that the more I developed myself, the more seminars I went to, the more books I read, the more tapes I listened to, the more confidence I had. And not only that, the more value came out of me. You know, it's more about what you put in. It doesn't matter what it is that you do, an engineer or a salesman. That the more that there's in computer languages, there's junk in, junk out. You know, you
Some called garbage in, garbage out.
Yeah, garbage in, garbage out. I don't want to use that. But you basically reap what you sow. You cannot in any way harvest anything else other than that which you've sown.
Okay.
You know.
All right, Mr. Sithole, there's the second point, the second nugget of wisdom which I want to prod you on is when you invest in something such as inviting a speaker to come and talk, or when you go to a seminar, or when you invite a coach, you're parting with money in that process. And you're basically saying that you're elevating yourself from being a mere consumer to becoming an investor, and become an investor. Is this hogwash or is this something you believe in? And can you expand a bit more on that point?
First of all, what is the difference between an investor and a consumer? A consumer doesn't want anything back. They're happy with the consumption. An investor wants a return on investment. So when you invest on personal development, you take money out of your own pocket, hard-earned money out of your own pocket. You go and invest and go into a seminar, you want to see results. And what happens is you put it upon yourself. You raise the bar in terms of what you demand and expect from yourself by insisting on taking something valuable from that seminar or the book that you've read that will give you X amount of return on investment.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think you've covered it well. The third item or nugget that I want you to develop a bit for me, does one really want to be associated with freebies? The idea that we are giving things for free. I'm asking this in the context of why it is that people are expected to share their wisdom that they've acquired over the years for free? What does it do to one's reputation to be associated purely with freebies?
I don't know why you would want to do that, because first of all, you didn't get that information for free, or that vantage point or that perspective that is so valuable for you. You didn't get it for free, because most often when you go to and listen to an entrepreneur who is maybe a magnet, and you listen to them, it's not that they got that experience for free, even though they're giving it for free. It came out of heartbreaks, maybe backstabbing, failures in business, and there was an emotional
blood, sweat, tears.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't understand why you would want to do that for free. Yeah.
Okay. The fourth nugget of wisdom I want you to touch on: have you come across an internationally acclaimed speaker, a successful coach, or even a trainer who does not charge for his time, who chooses not to seek compensation for his time?
No, and if I did, I wouldn't want to attend that seminar. I would want to take money out of my pocket, because if they say they charge 10,000 or 100,000, or I can then have a criteria for insisting on getting a return on investment based on the amount of money that I've invested. I can then say I want 10x of this back within a specific time frame.
You and I, over the years, have attended literally tens and tens of seminars, workshops, and speeches being delivered in South Africa, all over Botswana, and so on, where we paid for such speeches, for such engagements. Why do you think it was important for us to do that?
Because we understand that in order for us to create better results, we have to become better people. It has to start with you becoming a better individual, raising the bar on what you demand and expect from yourself. Not when you're in front of people, but in the privacy of your own space. Saying that, you know what, I can do much better than this. And you insist on becoming a better individual. And fortunately, and not only that, but you also begin to raise the bar on what you demand and expect from your friends and the people that you live and work with.
Okay.
Yeah.
The point there, the number 5 you like, is the point that I want us to talk about. Is Warren Buffett once said, price is what you pay and value is what you get. And he said that the problem with most people, they focus on price as opposed to value. First of all, what is the difference between price and value? And why do you think, if you agree with the statement, that people focus more on price than on value?
Remember we said at the beginning that the quality of your service grows in direct proportion. The quality of your life rather grows in direct proportion to the quality of your service and the difficulty of replacing you. What happens here is that if you develop yourself and you become much more valuable and you add more value in the marketplace of life, then your value goes up. And then if your value goes up, people are then willing to pay a certain premium based on the value that they see from you. And it is literally impossible for anyone to pay anything else other than to pay more than people cannot pay for something that is less valuable than their money. So the value has to go up, and then the people have to say that, oh, okay, given this little amount of money that I have, I think I'll take that. Take my money and give me that value.
No, I see.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, that explains it. Number 6, is it true? I've heard it often said, I think you've also said it, that it is not what you are getting, but what you are becoming that counts in the sphere of personal development. Can you expound on that, and how can you elaborate further on that point?
I think, look, the very big thing here is commitment. As it gives you, I think, personal development and interacting with people that inspire you and encourage you and coach you to hold your feet to the fire, to raise the bar on what you demand and expect from yourself. it helps strengthen your commitment. And when it helps strengthen your commitment, what it actually does for you is that you don't see yourself for what you are, but for what you are in the process of becoming. Because remember, what you are today and who you are today is not as valuable as what you can become and where you can go.
Okay.
You could, so it is the process of what are you becoming, what are you, if we go, for instance, to somewhere in the neighborhood, we might see some boys playing soccer, and we might dismiss them as small boys playing soccer, but what are they in the process of becoming? That process is important.
You remind me what the great Jim Brown once said, that it's not, don't wish things were easier, don't wish something was easier, rather wish you were better. Work on becoming better so that you can deal with the challenges.
Absolutely. Yeah. So you consistently work on yourself.
All right.
Yeah.
The seventh idea I want us to explore is I think you mentioned this in a different context, that it strengthens your commitment to your ideas. How does it strengthen your commitment to your ideas to engage in the process of personal development and to invest in personal development?
Look, we live in a world of highly opinionated people, and the marketing machine, like I like to say, the marketing machine, where people want to tell us that they want you to identify with their products and to accept their products as a way to take it as a form of identity. So if you don't know who you are, if you don't know what your ideals are, what your commitments are, who you want to become, where you come from, where you want to go, anybody can pretty much come and tell you and say, buy this product, then you'll be so and so. But if you spend time refining your ideas, searching your soul, through the process of introspection and reflection, you begin to understand who you are. So you cannot be easily swayed by a snake oil salesman that come and tell you what you need to be and who you are.
So it is a process that is worth investing in.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's often been said that you become the sum total of 5 most dominant and influential people in your life. You want to be, and then for that reason, sometimes you need to be deliberate about the process. Do you agree that we are the sum total of the 5 most dominant people in our lives?
Yeah, I don't know if it's exactly 5.
I've heard the same said also about books. 5 books that you read or something.
I think it's just one of those things that are said, but the idea is that you become the company that you keep. You cannot become anything else other than
people you spend time with.
People you spend time with, because
so if those people have certain habits, have certain behaviors, you'll automatically acquire them and become like them.
Yes.
Birds of a feather.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And through osmosis. Yeah. Through osmosis, they just seep from their skin into your skin, and you just sort of become like that.
So why is it important for us to choose those 5 people through this process of personal development?
It has to start with you. Personal development starts from within, with self-understanding. Who am I? Where do I want to go? What is the most important thing for me in my life? And right now, where I am, the people that I'm with, that I spend most of my time with at work and at home, and in every walk of life, are they going to help me get there? Are they going to help me become more the person that I want to become? Are they going to help me become more?
Normally, you judge that based on what the results that they have acquired themselves.
The results that they have acquired themselves, the kind of things that they talk about, the walk that they walk, and not just the talk that they talk.
All right.
Yeah.
That makes sense. The 9th nugget that I want us to share and discuss is, why is it so difficult for people in Botswana in particular, or Southern Africa in general, to physically pay for someone to speak to them and to add value to them? Why is it still difficult for people to pay for speakers?
I think it's part of our national evolution in terms of personal development. It's only a new industry, as you rightly mentioned. 20 years ago, when I started approaching people And I said, I do motivational speaking. Most people are saying, you're doing what? Motivational speaking. And we pay you for what? How do you speak? What kind of speaking is this? But the conversation now has changed, and we have other younger speakers that have come on board. And the question for them is, how much do you charge? Do you understand? But
people like Raya Mapana, for instance.
Absolutely. You know,
France, Mohomuti, quite a whole lot of them.
Exactly. And the question that the conversation that they're having with their new clients is different from the question that I was having with my clients back then, because for them it's okay, how much do you charge?
Let's say, as it were, you've cleared the path for
if you yes, in
for
a way,
that we
yes.
appreciate this man. He cleared the way for a lot of youngsters who are coming behind. Even me now, who's pivoting to speaking, it is because of this man that I'm able to get into this space.
Sure, thanks, Mom. But you see, it's we cannot get ahead of ourselves. Let the market evolve. We charge way below what other speakers charge in the region and across the world. But we'll catch up once we grow as speakers, as the market grows in understanding and they begin to see the value of this. Because I remember in the US, Napoleon Hill, 1937, he published
Think and
Grow Rich. So there's been many generations of speakers that have mentored other speakers.
Yes.
There's been many generations of people that have benefited from motivational speakers.
Nightingale and them, they've cleared the path also.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then in developed economies, it's easier to penetrate and to justify speaking for a fee.
Yeah.
Whereas in Botswana, the focus is on speaking for free.
Yes.
So the idea is, how do you then move from speaking for free to speaking for a fee?
We have to keep going. You know, we have to keep going. You have to keep. Part of our strategy has to be different as motivational speakers in the region or in the country, because it has to be part education, part selling. You understand? You cannot. Whereas maybe in developed markets, people already know what this is all about.
So it's just selling, not education.
Yes. And remember, I always say that if you have a good product and you feel that your product can benefit your clients, your prospective clients, then you have a moral obligation to commit to educating your clients so that they can discriminate on your behalf.
Okay, that makes perfect sense. Issue of packaging. I think I've had younger speakers often emphasizing that it is important for people. They say we don't focus enough on packaging, and that it's important for speakers to package themselves, not only in terms of the subject matters they speak on, but perhaps, I guess, in terms of literally what values they project to the buying public or to the community that they're speaking in.
I think for me, they're 100% right, and I think for me, the reason why I'll eternally be grateful for my career choice as a motivational speaker, over and above the financial rewards that I've gotten from that, is I've had the opportunity to insist to hold myself to a certain level in terms of my own conduct. I think, I don't know who it is, but somebody, one of the older guys, much older, like 2,000 years old, said, who you are speaks so loudly that people cannot hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
You know,
it could be Stratton Martin. Somebody Stratton Martin.
Or Rising Stratton Martin.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
Not many of them.
But anyway, let's not.
2,000 years ago. Okay.
2,000 years ago, yeah. Well,
could be one of the Stoics.
Yeah.
You
know, so said, you don't want who you are to get in the way of the message that you're trying to bring across to people. Because ultimately, this is not really just about you going to speak and then submitting an invoice.
Yes.
It's about impacting people's lives.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, dear listener, dear viewer, those are the top 10 nuggets of wisdom on the importance of investing in personal development from none other than our very own guru, Mr. Sithole. Now, can we spend the last few minutes sharing on what I call a bonus, which has to do with the issue of being patient with the market, and also with the issue of the question of how people can access you and what you can provide to the viewing public in terms of what services are available from your company. Speak to the audience.
Well, in terms of how people can access me, they can drop me an email at saronga@gmail.com. Saronga@gmail.com.
Yes.
I'm not on social media. I'm not on the web. Remember, I'm just coming out of retirement from this.
Semi-retirement.
It's semi-retirement from the motivational speaking space. So I think fully next year, 2020, that's when we'll be going back.
Don't have a Facebook page yet or Instagram yet. We'll work on that next year.
Yeah.
Okay. And why is it important to be patient? That's the other part of the question I asked you. To educate the market. Remember, we talked about that.
Patience is not just about educating the market. I think patience is capital. You have to look at. I think unfortunately we live in a world where we want of instant gratification. We want to succeed now. We want to have all the good things now. Everything is instant. But in the world where everybody wants everything now, the guy that has the patience to sit and look 5 years, 10 years ahead can have it all.
That is absolutely true.
Yeah.
Yeah. If it was that kind of show, I'd be giving a round of applause now. But thank you so much, Mr. Sithole, and thank you, dear listener, dear viewer, for taking the time to share with us and to listen to this interview. If you like what you're hearing, please give us a thumbs up, and more importantly, please subscribe to our channel. Thank you.